Hi, today I'm going to show you how you can make a simple UI system in your Unity game. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to go to your scene, right click, and create a canvas. You're going to want to do this by going down to UI and then going all the way down to canvas, about the fifth one to the bottom. And you can just leave this named as canvas. And now what we're going to do is we're going to right click it, go down to UI once again, and click, we're not going to go down to UI actually, we're going to click create empty, and this is going to be the holder for our menu, so I'm just going to call this main menu. You can call this options menu, main menu, or whatever. I'll show you how to make a simple options menu later in the video. So we can just leave this as it is. We can go down again, we can right click on canvas once again, go down to UI, and then go down to panel. We can if you don't want this little border around it that you can see, then you can just change this to 15 or number higher, but I don't recommend it. I'm going to go ahead and change this alpha multiplier to 0, and then change it to a gray color. And then I'm going to rename this to background, or BG if you prefer. And now for the buttons, we can go ahead and right click on the main menu empty game object, go down to UI, and then go down to button text mesh pro. You can do button, but it's better to do text mesh pro because you have more options for text. And then it should bring up this little menu if you haven't already imported TMP. So you're just going to click this button. It should only take a second. And then you can click this one if you'd like some extra fonts and gradients and things like that. Alright, so now if we go down to the text, we can change this to play or whatever you want. I'm going to name this to play button. And now what you can do is you can resize it and things like that. But for now, I'm just going to leave that how it is and change this alpha multiplier to 0 so that it is invisible until you click on it or highlight it. And now I'm going to click on this little arrow next to it, click text TMP, and then change the color of the text to white. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the font asset. It should be at the top under text style and main settings. I'm going to change it to Roboto, and then you can change it to bold if you'd like. And if you want to change the box size so that the text is a little bit better looking, you can go ahead and do that, and then you can change the text to 55. 55 is a good size. You can do smaller or larger, but I prefer about that size. Alright, and also, if you want to put a title into your game, you can just right click on canvas, go to UI, and then text mesh pro, but I'm not going to do that. Alright, so once we have this, you can go to the button, which is called play button for me, go to highlighted color, I'm going to change it to black, and then put the alpha variable to about 90. And then I'm going to go to the pressed color, and then set it to black, and set it to a little more, so about 150 would be good. And then, selected color, you don't have to do anything for these ones. I actually like putting them to 0. For the disabled colors, when you want to disable it, I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video, but if you want to, you can change it to like a reddish color. And then what you're going to want to do, unless you want to make it so that you can use arrow keys to navigate the buttons, what you're going to want to do is set this navigation to none. Okay, and that's all you have to do for that button. What we're going to do now is I'm just going to make a quit button. So you're going to want to do the same thing, just drag it down a little bit so it's under your play button. Clicks the text under the, by clicking on this arrow, change it to quit, it should render automatically. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually add functionality to this. So the first thing you want to do is click on your canvas, click add component, and then you're going to want to make a script called menu manager or something similar. You're going to click new script, and then you're going to click create and add at the bottom. This is going to create a C# script. I'm going to go ahead and create a folder called scripts. Sorry, I can't spell today. I'm going to drag this into scripts, and I'll go ahead and open it up in Visual Studio. The first thing you're going to want to do is delete these top two first lines because we're not going to be using in this. And then you're going to import the library unityengine.ui. And then what you can do is you can delete these two. We're not going to be using them. And we're going to first make a function called next scene or change scene. Before we do that, this is actually the wrong library. I'm sorry for that. But instead of UI, we're actually going to be using scene management. So like I was saying, create a public class that's going to be void, so it doesn't return any values. And then we're going to call it play game. And then parentheses to make it a function. We're going to put curly brackets, and then we are going to write the code here. And the code is actually very simple, and all this is going to do is so that when you click the play button, it just starts the game and goes to the next scene. So all you need to do for this is do scene manager dot load scene and then the name of the scene. I don't actually have a scene built right now, so I'm just going to call it game scene. I'll show you how to make that in just a minute. Alright, now we're going to create a public void quit game. So all this is going to do is basically quit the game when you click the quit button. Pretty self-explanatory. So that's pretty easy. All you need to do is one line of code, which is just application.quit. And that's all you need to do for that. So that's pretty good. And now to connect these, because currently if we go into the game, these buttons don't actually do anything. They just highlight and look cool. So what we're going to want to do is highlight your desired button, go down to on click, it should be near the bottom, click add, and then you're going to want to drag in canvas to this where it says none. And then we're going to go to menu manager at the very bottom, because that's what I called the script. And then we're going to do play game, because that is the function we created here to play the game. So now if you go ahead and go into the game and press play, it'll probably give you this error, and that's because we don't actually have the scene built or even have it in the build settings. So what you're going to want to do is I'm going to go ahead and create, actually not a folder, I'm going to create a new scene and call it game scene. And then all we need to do is go to File, Build Settings, and then click Add Open Scene, or not Add Open Scenes, but we're going to drag in Game Scene, and it should show up right here. Alright, and now it should work. Actually, I hope yeah. Now when you click the play, it should load the next scene, although there's nothing in it for me. The next scene is actually just going to be your game. I'll have some other tutorials on how to do stuff in that. But for now, we're just creating the menu. So to make the quit button work, you're going to do the same thing. Go down to on click, click this little plus button, drag in canvas to the none object little button, or you can click this right here and then just click canvas, but it's a little easier to drag it in. And then we're going to go down to menu manager and do quit game instead of play game, because that's the script we want. And now I know that I said I was going to show you how to make a options button, so that's what we're going to do now. I'm just going to drag this a little down, and then we can just call this options button. Oh, and by the way, if you go into the game and click quit, it should not do anything because you're in the editor, but trust me, it does work in the actual application. Okay, so options button. All you're going to need to do for this is quite simple. Just drag it down under, and then you can bring this up a little bit. Click TMP, make it options, and then you can, if you'd like, make this box a little bigger. Set the X to 0. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new menu. So we can just duplicate this empty game object that's called main menu. And then we can just rename it to options menu. And now all we need to do is change the buttons up a little bit. So I'm going to go to main menu and unclick it so it's not active. Go to options menu, and for now we can just delete these buttons. We're not going to need them. But the quit button, we'll make it into a back button. So we can just rename this to back. Back button. I'm not going to teach you guys how to make the actual options in this video, just because it's kind of a large project. Alright, so now what we can do is we can just make this say back. And this is actually much simpler than the other. You don't even need script for this. So all you want to do for the options, so go back to your main menu and options button. You can change, instead of dragging in the canvas, you're going to want to drag in the options menu. So here it says options menu. And then we're going to go to game object, because it doesn't have the main menu script, because that's not what it's connected to. And we're going to go down to set active bool. And this is basically saying set if this game object is active. So we're going to say yes because we want to set if the options menu is active. And then what we're going to want to do is create another one so to deactivate this main menu script, this main menu object right here. So we're going to drag it in, go to game object, set active, and then uncheck this box so that it deactivates it. And then we're going to do the same exact thing for the back button, except the other way around. So options menu, game object, set active, deactive, and then main menu, game object, set active, activate. And that's about it. You should have a working menu now. Thanks for watching my video. I'm Scotty Roos. See you in the next one.